Hi, my name is Peter Hinson, and I wanted to share some thoughts on the difference between people who know what they're doing and people who don't know what they're doing. And this might seem like a really strange question. If you would ask people, do you know what they're doing? Most people would say, yes, I know what I'm doing. And in my opinion, the future of many companies depends on the people inside your company who don't know what they're doing. Now, let me explain. If you look at a startup, a typical startup, and I've had the pleasure of doing a number of startups in my life, ideally in a startup you would have 99% people who don't know what they're doing, and you might only have 1% who know what they're doing. And the reason is, if you're in a startup and you don't know what you're doing, you're going to do things that you've never done before, and that's the essence, the very essence of doing a startup. If you want maybe the prime example of people who don't know what they're doing, I think Elon Musk is the perfect example of somebody who doesn't know what he's doing. For the very simple reason is, he's doing things that have never been done before. If Elon Musk wants to land a rocket vertically on a barge in the ocean, there are thousands of NASA engineers who say, no, that is impossible, that cannot be done. But he said, you know what, I'm going to try it anyway. He's going to do something that has never been done before. If Elon Musk wants to send a rocket, a BFR, around the world to connect any two cities on our planet within 30 minutes, he's going to do things that the airline industry has never done before. So, in my opinion, Elon Musk is the prime example of somebody who is the king of people who don't know what they're doing. And in a startup, that's exactly the ratio. You have 99% people who don't know what they're doing, because they're doing things that have never been done before, and you might have 1% who know what they're doing. It might be the CEO, or maybe a serial entrepreneur, or maybe a gray-haired investor who's done things before, but that's the ideal ratio. And if startups start to grow, maybe a unicorn is at 90-10, and maybe a company like Facebook is already at 50-50. Maybe 50% of the people at Facebook know what they're doing and 50% don't know what they're doing. And a company like Google, who's almost 20 years old, might already have like an 80-20 ratio. And if we go to traditional companies, say a bank or an insurance company or an airline, you have 99% people who know what they're doing and only 1% who don't know. In some cases, in governments, it might be even more extreme. In governments, you might have 99.99% people who know what they're doing and only 0.01% people who don't know what they're doing. And I believe you have to watch out for the 1% who don't know what they're doing, because they will define your future in the day after tomorrow. Let me explain. We often meet traditional organizations, say a bank or insurance company, where we like to work with the 1%. We really like to work with the 1% people who don't know what they're doing, because they are reinventing the bank for the day after tomorrow, or they're rethinking the insurance company for the day after tomorrow. But the worrying thing is that these 1%ers, who I believe are the crucial element, the ingredient to reinvent yourself, don't spend all of their energy to basically go out and do things that have never been done before. On the contrary, most of these 1%ers spend an enormous amount of emotional energy fighting the 99% inside organizations. And I believe this is the worrying thing that we have to fix. In essence, a startup is easy, because a startup has 99% people who don't know what they're doing, and they're fine about doing things in a completely different way. But if you're a traditional organization with the 1% and the 99%, be aware that these 1% who are essential to reinvent the organization have to be sheltered, have to be ring-fenced, or have to be managed in a way that they get the support that they shouldn't spend all of their energy fighting the 99% people who know what they're doing, but instead are out there trying to reinvent the complete new ecosystem, the complete new business model, or using all the new technologies to reinvent organizations for the day after tomorrow. So my message is, think in your company, how many people do you have who know what they're doing? And how many people do you have who don't know what they're doing? And if there's one tip or one advice, cherish the people who don't know what they're doing. They might be your future in the day after tomorrow.